Hey everyone, Angus here. I've been asked by a few people now how I find trending stocks, and what I'm looking for is stocks that have been going up nice and steadily throughout the year and then have had a bit of a pullback and in the maybe 10 to 20%, 30% type range, and then look like they're about to run again. So I'm really looking for those nice and steady runners that have had a pullback and look like they're about to start heading back up. So I'll show you how I do it. I go to a site called Barchart. I typically try and do most things within TradingView, but I haven't been able to find out how to do this in TradingView. The functionality just doesn't exist at this stage. So it's very, very simple. You can have a free account, doesn't have to be a charged account. You click on stocks, and there's two ways of doing it. Like if you want to do it very simply, you can go to these top 100 stocks, and this does a thing called a weighted average. So see how a weighted alpha, so see you've got this little symbol here called weighted alpha. And so if these stocks here are all now sorted by this weighted alpha, and the weighted alpha basically shows stocks that have been making consistently higher highs, and it adds more weighting towards the ones that have been making higher highs more recently. So, the more recently that they've been making highs, the stronger their ranking in this, top 100 list of stocks to buy. So if I click on Flipcharts, you should see stocks in a nice steady uptrend. So you can see a nice steady uptrend, and particularly recently. I'll go to the next one. So SanDisk, everyone should know about by now. Western Digital's killing it. And so these are all stocks that you would have loved to have been on, at the start of the year. And so these all look great. They're all very good looking stocks, nice and steady uptrends. I think that green line is a 20-day moving average, so that tells you where they are. This one's had a bit of a pullback, so that's interesting. It might have had earnings, who knows. Intel. And so as you go further down, they'll start to fade a bit as to, how good they are, like how nice and steady they are. But it just gives you an idea that, these ones, they're just nice and steady, straight up, or for the most part, straight up type stocks. So that's all well and good. But what I tend to do is I'll make my own custom version. So I'll go down here to Stock Screener, and I'll start to build this one from scratch, but I've got a few that I use. So let me go, how do I make a screener? So I think I might have to reset this one, and we'll start from scratch, and then I'll save it. So, Barchart's got a whole bunch built in, but I'll show you what I do. So I want to look at the ones that are New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. I'll get rid of the OTC ones, I'll get rid of these ones and these ones. You could leave them in there, but these are more your penny stocks that are a bit junkier. You can do this same thing for the US, for Canada, UK, Australia and Europe. So, if you've got something like Internet Interactive Brokers, you can trade different markets, but I'll just show you this example for US. Right, and so remember that weighted alpha one, so I'm going to put that one back in, weighted alpha. I'm going to go add, and I'm not going to go and configure them. You can see it's here now. And then I'm going to go last price, I guess. And I'm going to go add. And I have to try and remember them all. It's been, like I've been using this for years. So last price, and I want to go RSI, because I like to know what the, whether they're in a value area or not. They've had that bit of a pullback, so I'll go add. I like to know the average volume. Over the last, let's say, 100 days. Let's do over the last 50 days, because I want to buy stocks that have got volume, so they're not things that are really thinly traded that I can get stopped out on. I want to know the number of highs, so I wonder if it's just higher highs. Let's say highs. So see how I've got this 52-week number of new highs. So this is what I was building with my higher highs site. I was building something very similar. And so I can go add. Right, so I've got these values here now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tick high and very high. So that'll give me the ones that are, going up nicely. I'm going to go see results. You can see there's 2,055, so that's way too many. I'm going to go back to filters, and I'm going to say, I want the price to be between, let's say, $1 and $200. Just because I probably like the idea that they're under $100. Let's do $100 just for starters. And $1 might be too low. It could be $5, it could be $10. And the idea of this is, it's just that really dumb idea I have that a $20 stock is much easier to double to $40 than a $400 stock is, likely to double to $800. So let's go see results, and you can see I'm down to 1651. Right, and so let's go back up to here, and I say I want an RSI value between, let's say 40 to 60. Probably 45 is a better value. Let's say 45 to 60. I think this means that they're in a better value area. So let's go see results. 813. And so the 50-day average volume, I want greater than, let's say, 100,000. Is it 100,000? Yep. And let's go see results. And so I'm down to 669. And this one here is my favorite one. There's 52-week number of new highs. So I want it greater than, let's say, 80. So it means that it's roughly 260 trading days, these guys have consistently been going up. So let's go see results. That's interesting. A 52-week number of new highs. So why did that wipe out there? Let's go 60. So there's 15 now, so that's interesting. So if I sort it by 52-week number of highs from top to bottom, and so this is probably going to be a fairly good list. So it's interesting that when I did 80, what did I do? Did I do 80? Yeah, so 60 is the better value. And so if I now start to look at these, so 15 is a manageable number. And of course, every time you run this, you might get some slightly different values. But so if I now go Flipcharts, I just like how easy this is to sort of flick through them. So, I like the look of that one because it's tried to have a big run. It's pulled back. It's, sitting down here. So yesterday people were prepared to pay, almost $90 for it, and it's back at 73. So that's one that I would want to watch. And all you do is click on this little star here that says, add to watch list. So let's do that. So let's go let's go create a new watch list. I can't do that. I need to be registered. So my watch list, I don't know what's in it. Let's see what's in my watch list if I open it in a new tab. Okay, so there's not much in there. So let's get rid of this one if I can. It's been a while since I've done this. How can I edit it? Edit, let's go edit. Ooh. And let's get rid of that one and that one. I actually like CYL as well. So let's go delete. Okay, so let's go back to my screener. So let's go save. So let's go back to my screener. And you don't have to add them. You can do it a different way, but I just like to keep track of them. There's not that many, there's only 15. So let's go next. So Aris. So, not bad. It's sort of, try to top, still doing something over here, but there's a bit of volume behind that. So that could be interesting. So I'm just going to add to my watch list. And you can basically keep applying filters until you get, exactly the sort of stocks that you're looking for. So again, he looks sort of interesting. Hasn't done much there, but let's add him. And I won't bother keeping on adding these because I'll show you something a little bit different. But go next. Looks okay. Go next. Could be interesting. Go next. And obviously, what I'd do is when I go to buy these, what I'd do is I'd make sure that I put a stop order slightly above perhaps where they are just to confirm that they're going up, or I'd look at them in the pre-market to make sure in the pre-market that they're heading up. So some of these ones at the end aren't quite as good, but not bad. So obviously, there's some that you'll prefer over others, just pattern-wise. But so that's what I've got in there. So 52-week number of highs is 60. Volume is that. the 14-day relative strength is that if I change this to 200 and go see results, and I've got 21, and so you might find out of this 21 there's maybe some better ones in there. But I can also do things like I can add filters, and so it's great to see that a stock's going up, but it'd be also good to see if its revenue, for example, is going up. How would I do revenue? Maybe income. So net income over the last year, what was that? Annual net income, quarter net income, and that's quarterly. So I won't put that one in now, but let's go and save this. So if I go, I think I've got to go and see results before I can save it. So if I go see results, I'm going to say save screener. Well, that's interesting. With Barchart Plus, you get 10 save screeners, so I don't get any more screeners, which is annoying. I don't know how many I get, but I would have thought I'd have more than whatever that is. But so let's go back to set filters, and I'll show you all. Let's go back to set filters, and I'll show you what my original ones were. So if I go, this is the one that I mainly use, and so let's just go see results. And so I've got 43 in that one. So let me show you what each of the things are. So see this one here, sales growth last quarter. So I'm saying over the last quarter, I want their sales to be positive. I want them to be, their sales to be increasing, not going backwards. Sales growth over the last year is up 10%. The latest percent change, I want to go up 1%. So I'm looking for stocks that, went up yesterday effectively. 52-week number of highs. I've only got that set to 30. So I'd certainly like to have that high, but let's leave it. Well, let's make it back up to, say, 60. See what happens. 52-week percent change, I like to have probably up around 80. Weighted alpha, I've got those two. The relative strength index, I think I'd change to 45 to 65. And this one here, percent from high is quite good. Like I want them within that 52-week high, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to show you what I do with that, and I'll change it in a second. Last price, dollar to 200. Let's go see results now. So 43 went down to 4. So these ones here might be a bit too aggressive. So let's go back to, say, 60%. And let's go to, say, 40%. Let's go to, say, 40. And then see what my filter is. I want to get down to, let's say, 15-ish. So that's probably too many. So see, I've got lots above 50. Let's go for ones above 50. Let's go to set filters, and let's say, show me the ones that have been going up at least 50. And let's change this one. What doesn't matter, let's go see results. So I'm down to 13. And you can see the percent change over 1 year. This one's up 750%, 200%, 200%, 200%, 200%. So these are all up, heaps over the last year. And if we have a quick look now, did I cover everything here? I think so. The average volume I've covered. The one I said, remember I said I want to do this percent from high. And so how many have I got again? I've got 13, which is certainly manageable. But what I want to do is I'm going to say between, let's say they're between 10% and 30% of the 52-week high. So that's going to exclude all the ones that are, 2% away from the high, 5% away from the high, because I'm really looking for the ones that have had a pullback, and I've got 10% buffer to get back up to that previous high if they start to head back up. So I'll go see results. I'm down to 9. So let's say that's a good number to look at. So if we have a look at the flip charts. So, I like laser. I currently hold laser. I like Aris. I think I hold Aris. B I don't know anything about. I don't hold B. IAG, I don't hold, but, it looks all right. Again, this one's had a big pullback. I don't know why, but it's interesting. KGC, TPC, NEM. I think I hold NEM. Yeah, I do. I hold NEM. That's not an endorsement by any stretch. It just means that I've seen it on these sorts of things and thought it could be right. So now that I've got that list, you can click on this download, and I've done it already, so you might only get one download a day, which you do, so that's annoying. But what I'll do is I'm going to copy this. Go copy, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it within Google Finance over here, but Google Finance is a killer. So it's google.com/finance/beta/. And so it's brand new, it's a beta version, and what you're looking for is this thing over here. This is basically Google's massive finance database with, every stock bit of information in it. And what I want to do is this thing over here. I don't really care about anything else, I just want this. So I'm going to say, here is my watch list that I got from Barchart. Doesn't really matter, you don't have to tell it that. Can you please look through these stocks and see which ones you would recommend based on both their charts and fundamentals and any recent news. I want to hold, I don't know, let's say 3 at the most. Something like that is probably enough. And so if this doesn't work, then what I'd do is I'd paste this into Google Sheets, and then I'd just copy the first 2 columns, and that might make it easier. Right, so here we go. So it's saying, based on review of your watchlist fundamental current technical setup and recent May 2026 earnings reports, here are the top 3 recommendations of your portfolio. So it's saying Enlight, Aris, and ADIA. So I wonder if that's the list order. No, so it's not. So see, I've got Aris, Laser and Aris, but it hasn't recommended B or IAG. So it's been good. Like, it hasn't just simply said, let's go and recommend the top couple on your list. And so then it produces a nice little chart, tells you the price, the percent change, the market cap, laser. Some of excluded stocks. It says strong Q1 production is forecast to fall through late 2026. High PE, revenue missing Q1. Analysts recently downgraded it. And so it's kind of cool. And so you can do things like, you can say, for each of these stocks, please show me the analyst forecast price versus the current price and the percent change, and also show the percent difference to the 12-month high. Hopefully put in the table. I should have said, can you put in the table? But let's see what it does. Right, so you can see these are the stocks here. And so you can see the upside to the analyst target is 11%. But see how this one's already too high. Difference to 52-week high. Oh, it's saying it's below. It's saying it's 15% below the 52-week high. So that's good news. So there's an 11% upside, there's a 15% even just to get back to the 52-week. This one's got 53% upside. This one's still got 15% to go. 53% upside to get back to the broker's target, and 15% just to get back to the previous high. So that's interesting. And so key insights, highest upside potential is Aris, leads the group with projected 53%. Price momentum versus ceiling. A laser's trading closest to its analyst target. It may be nearing a short-term valuation ceiling. Gap to 52-week high. IAG shows the largest discount. Blah, 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 blah. So based on this data, which of the 3 would you suggest I buy? It'll probably come back with slightly different results because it's now not looking at any of that extra information. So it's still saying laser. Enlight's coming off an exceptional Q1. Aris delivered record Q1 results, and ADIA 22.5% earnings surprise on May the 4th, blah, 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 blah. Technical target, maintains a great financial health score, highest quarterly sales in your list, 109%. And so again, they're all sort of interesting. They're it's a cool way to investigate and find stocks. And you can also do things like, you can say, I don't know if I can do this, but I can say, I can do this in ChatGPT, for example. I'm going to say, please give me a TradingView import list for each of these stocks on one line. I'm going to say for all of these stocks on one line. So see how it's done this, that's gone, then I go copy, and then I'm going to go and open up a TradingView window, because sometimes, always I like to see what they look like in a TradingView chart. Now I'm going to go this one. I'm going to go and create a new list. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to say, let's call it Google AI. Go create. And then I'm going to go plus. And I'm going to go paste. And I always have to cross my fingers because sometimes it betrays me. And so see how easy that is. So they're all in there now. And then I'm going to go, let's see a chart. And so now I've got my chart here, my RSI, my MACD, the things that I like. I've got my price, make sure I've clicked on 1 year. And let's go back to my list. This is a pain, I don't like it how it does that. It hides it away. I've got to go and find it again, Google AI. Right, and so you can see in the pre-market, some of these are down a bit, so I don't like to buy them if they're down in the pre-market, or this one here is only down a little bit. So, if I look at laser, what I like about this one is he's rocketed up to, let's say, $87. He's currently at $73, and so that's just straight after his earnings. So there's some appetite there to say, well, people are prepared to pay almost $90 for that stock. It's currently at 73. So I like the idea of that. I like the idea of that stock. B, to me, all these look good. Like, I like that the MACD is about to cross over. I like that the RSI is heading up. So again, I like the look of that. But remember our analysis over here on the Google Finance was saying with B, Barnes Group, currently analyses hold or lagging in a risk-on environment compared to pure growth stocks. I'm sure it's set up here somewhere, something about them. Analysts recently downgraded EPS and revenue estimates following a surprise loss. So it's a bit of a bugger for them. Doesn't look like it's a surprise loss. Oh, well, there you go. So that's that surprise loss. So that makes sense. So if we went down and had a look at their chart. So, annual looks all right. Quarterly, I don't know what they're talking about, but, there is some sort of loss that was on that earnings report. NEM, not as exciting as the others because it's fairly sort of flat, a bit of a downtrend there. But again, if I look at things like, the RSI heading up a little bit and the MACD down there, it looks all right. IAG, KGC, 80 was one of the ones that it recommended. So again, on earnings, it's shot up. Good looking earnings. Got no idea why it pulled back. So I can say to it too, I can go 80. So why did ADR pull back recently? Just to see what's up. So Q1 earnings beat on May the 4th, pullback combination, disappointing guidance, sudden announcement of CEO. Well, CEO transition's never good, but I don't mind that. Like, no business is sort of more important, or no CEO is more important than the business. So, step down for health and personal reasons, leadership uncertainty during critical growth phase, saw the news, reaction. So, who knows? Could be right, but you might just keep a tight stop on it if you decide not to buy that one. Anyway, so hopefully that was of interest. Knock yourself out. Like, Barchart's very, very good with so many different ways you can apply filters and things. Just pause the video and you can see what I've got. But again, I'd always recommend that you go and find your own stuff. There's just endless amount of stuff in here. You might look at PEs, you might look at income statements, you might look at, whatever it is that you want to look at, but there's bucket loads of data in here, and it's a very powerful system. So it's not, I use this for filtering. I don't really use it for charting. I use, TradingView just can't be beaten for charting as far as I'm concerned, but it's a very good system. So if I click on laser, just to show you, you've got all this data here that sort of says, here's a chart. So you can see, it's a bit of a snapshot type chart. I can go, let's say, open the high, low, close bars. Nope, let's go candlestick hollow. Yeah, open to close. So there's a different ways of doing things, but line chart's good enough for me. Or let's go an area chart because it's pretty. So you can see, nice and consistently going up. A bit of a wiggle at the end. Oh, there we go. So it's a full chart. So you can do a full size chart as well. Let me go back to what it was previously. Oop. And then over here is quite good. Like you've got this little Barchart technical opinion. Barchart technical opinion rating is 100% buy with the strongest short-term outlook on maintaining the current direction. Long-term indicators fully support a continuation of the trend. Relative strength just crossed above the 50%. The market is indicating support for a bullish trend. Let's go see more. There's heaps and heaps, 100% buy, current strength, current direction, snapshot opinion. These are all the various bar chart analysis that's sort of saying it's a buy, not a buy. It's crazy. All these different, ways of analysing a stock is good. It's a good system, very powerful system. But as I said, I mainly use it for filtering, and then I take the stuff that I get out of here and I throw it into Google Finance's AI, the beta version of its AI, and then I'll have a look at it on TradingView, and then I buy them through internet brokers if that's what I'm about to do as far as placing my orders. Anyway, so probably a longer video than I meant, but I hope that it was worthwhile for you. Thanks for listening.